need you to secure the memorial and remove the True Sons' forces. If they maintain this outpost, the True Sons will be a direct threat to the campus.
You like that, Agent? Told the whole fight.
Got a visual on additional hostiles in the memorial compound. They're moving south. There's a gate.
We'll have to find a way around that shield.
Get in there! Setting up turret! Take out that shield! Disruptor's dead! Shit, I'm out! Gotta go around.
Proceed with caution.
What's up, Agents? Patrick Wolf here. Welcome to another Division 2 build video. Today's video is going to be a solo pyro build for any player in the game, whether you're new or veteran. It's going to be utilizing the Pyromaniac. If you guys do not have that weapon, it has popped up a few times in the season pass and in the vendors, so make sure you do have that weapon first, and you have some of the pieces like the exotic holster. We're going to go through everything. Now, it might be quite a tricky build to make, but it's something to work towards, and you can utilize other pieces. You do not have to just use what I'm using. I will give you some variations. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the main build, which is going to be focused on a bit more damage to be able to take out the enemies a bit faster, but I will give a second variant which will give you a lot more survivability. That will be at the end of the video. Link will be in the description. Just click on the timestamp and there should be chapters along the bar, so just click on it if you guys want to see that, if you want to have a bit more survivability. So let's go to the specializations first and see which ones we're going to be choosing. And I think it's quite obvious for a pyro build. It's going to be the firewall. The main reason for this is going to be 20% burn duration, which is very good. Also, we're going to have a fiery response. On armor break, apply burn to enemies within 5 meters. This is disabled in PvP. This is going to be a PvE build, so it doesn't really matter to us. If you were going to use this in PvP, you can make use of this fire starter shotgun, which is really, really good. Even if someone has hazard protection, it works incredibly well. But make sure you do have the special shield striker, which does give you more damage to NPCs. Now, if you do want to play with this build in a team, you can. It's not a problem. Just remember that you need to make sure you get NPCs on fire because of the scaling and the different amounts of adds all around you. But we're going to be using this, and it also gives your teammates damage if you are playing in a team. So make sure assault rifle damage is activated, as that's going to be the main weapon we're going to be using because of the named weapon, which is going to be the Pyromaniac, as you guys know, one of my favorite guns in the game. So 1.1 million armor. That is quite low for a solo build, but this one I wanted to focus on getting as much damage as we can whilst not cancelling out the utility of the fire. So the tanky build will be straight after this. I will just give a quick overview of the pieces. So we have got the Pyromaniac, which if you guys do not have it, you can use a different weapon. Just put the same talent, just not the perfect version. It doesn't really matter. This is a very powerful weapon because we do deal 25% weapon damage to burning enemies, and every 3 kills we apply burning to the next enemy you hit, which is very good. Even if you don't want to use any kind of skill or talent that makes the NPCs burn or put a status effect, doesn't matter because you will be able to burn them just by killing the ads, which, you know, we have a lot of damage, so we can actually burn them pretty well. So modifications, what have I got? So we've got some critical hit chance. Critical hit damage is going to be the focus, but we need to get our crit chance high, and because this is not an SMG, it's going to be a bit tricky to actually get the crit up there. So what I've done is I've pretty much gone for a Cheska mask, which works. As I said, we can get that 10% critical hit chance. We've got armor, crit chance, critical hit damage, and then every single modification on this build is going to be the highest critical hit damage modification you have, which makes sense because we're not really going to be focusing on headshots. You can use this on console or PC, whatever. The chest piece is going to be Fenris because of that base weapon damage, so we're not focusing on just stacking critical hit damage, even though it's going to match perfectly with the increases in damage that we're going to get from the backpack and the chest piece talent. It's a lot of damage from 2 sources, which are going to help us a lot. So just from this chest piece alone, we're getting 25% damage, which is very, very good. And we also get an additional amount of damage from the backpack, and then on top of that, the Pyromaniac weapon as well. So we have got crit damage, crit chance, weapon damage. Very nice. Obliterate is very powerful. Now, we would be using Spotter if we could utilize the Technician Specialization, but because of the burn duration, it's just way better to actually go for this talent. It works really well, and it's very strong. So we have got the exotic holster, the Imperial Dynasty. Now, if you don't have this, you don't have to use it, but this is going to help you a lot. That's going to help you proc the backpack talent, which is wicked. So make sure you guys do give this a try. If you have got this holster, it's very strong now. The only issue I have with it is it has hazard protection. I'm not really sure why. I wish it was something else, but it doesn't matter. It does help, I guess, if you're doing missions like Stranded Tanker, or you're getting burnt a lot. It doesn't really matter, yourself. But we have got hazard and status effect. Status effect is going to be not the main focus of this build, but it is something we would like to increase in, because it increases the burn duration. More that because we don't really care about the damage of the burn. It's not really a skill build, so the longer they burn for, the more chance we get to actually put bullets into them. So Dragon's Glare, while in combat, applies burn to the enemy closest to you within 20 meters. The cooldown is 35 seconds, which is not a problem because the backpack talent, the cooldown is actually 27 seconds, so we will have Wicked up pretty much all the time, and that's not even counting whether or not you use a burn turret, fire turret, or fire starter chem. Completely up to you. Right, so we've got the Anarchist Cookbook backpack. Now, if you do not have this, it doesn't really matter. You could put a golden piece somewhere else. I've gone armor, crit chance, and unfortunately, I've got hazard protection. Critical hit damage would be perfect there, or even status effects. Now, we have got critical hit damage modification, like I said, but perfectly wicked. Applying a status effect, that's from our Pyromaniac or the exotic holster, or our skills. Applying a status effect increases total weapon damage by 18% for 27 seconds. As you can see, initial weapon damage is going to be increased significantly from the chest piece, the backpack, and now the weapon, because they will be bleeding all the time. And it's also going to be dishing out damage on the burn, might I add. So 27 seconds is a long time. It's very, very powerful. And the one-piece colon does give us extra burn duration. So we have got a little bit of stacking of status effects. Now, you can stack it more. That's completely up to you how much utility you want to go for. Then what I did was I tried a whole bunch of combinations, maybe some armor on kill. I tried to use maybe some Grupo instead of the Ye Old Faithfuls, but trust me guys, this is just the way to go. We can hit just under 600,000 damage a shot with this assault rifle using contractors. It's just the way to go with critical hit damage rolled on it. And then the knee pads, Fox's Prayer with crit chance. It's just too good. So this is the way I like to run it, because to be honest, we've got the Fenris, we've got the crit chance that we need from the mask, and then we have Ye Old Faithful gloves and knee pads, and then the golden for that Anarchist cookbook damage and status effect, and then the holster. It just works incredibly well, and honestly I love using this build. It's very powerful. With the skills, now you do not have to use the turret, the flame turret. I just wanted to just talk about it for a second. Now, I've tried this with a full maxed out skill build. It's not very strong. I wish this could get a buff. It needs to be 360 degrees like in the Division 1, but we do not have that. And to be honest, this is really good. Like for some missions where NPCs are coming out of a single area, you can actually focus them, or like if they're in a hallway or a passageway, you can really just continuously burn them. And yes, the cooldown is very terrible. It actually is quite annoying that the cooldown is so high baseline, but you can turn it on and off by just pressing the skill button, so you can stop it shooting to save its fuel, and then that's how you can keep the burn on. It works really well if you want to try it. It's quite fun. Now you don't have to use a shield, but I've gone for the extra damage of the shield. It's just, you guys know what it's like. They need to nerf these shields. They're just too good. If you want to use a fire chem, go for that as well on either one. It's really up to you what kind of skills you want to use. Just make sure you do use active regen or health, and make sure you do have 5% damage bonus or whatever percentage you may have. It really does increase the damage quite significantly. Then statistics, they're not looking too bad, to be honest. Remember, we will be getting a lot of weapon damage off the bat from the chest, backpack, and the weapon when they are burning. 58% critical hit chance, which is very good. 116% critical hit damage. We can hit very hard with this build. You can pause the video if you would like to, have a look at any of the other statistics. And let's move on to the other build, which gives you a bit more survivability. Right, so I have just put the pieces on right now for the more, the build that gives you way more survivability if you guys are struggling and you're getting burnt out a lot by the NPCs, and you just want to be able to run around and not have to worry about dying and killing them as quick as possible. This is going to be the combination for you. So all we have done is we have swapped the gloves, knee pads, and mask for another golden piece, which gives us armor regen. So we want to make sure our armor regen is up there. So armor regen, crit chance, and armor. Very nice. The 2-piece from the golden, from the bag, gives us some more armor regeneration. Also, the gloves will give us another 1% armor regen, crit damage, crit chance, and armor rolled. And we also have the knee pads, Emperor's Guard, which gives us a further 1% armor regeneration with critical hit damage or crit chance, wherever it may be, and then armor rolled. Now, I have actually got 1.5 million armor. The reason why is because it scales off of your armor value, the percentages of the armor regeneration. The more armor you have, the higher your armor regen will go. So we can actually reach a very high number of 50k, or just under 50,000 armor regen, considering we have a lot of damage on top of that. So this is a very good way of running the build, and I think a lot of you guys might prefer this variant. Just make sure your critical hit chance is close to 60. Don't go below 50, 52, somewhere there. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe. Tell me which variant you would rather use. And with that being said, I'll see everybody very soon in the next video. Peace out, guys.